Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings. Welcome. This is Jadiel from the Fourth Angels Learning Center. Good morning or good evening, whenever you guys are watching this. Praise Yah. Today, we're going to be discussing for our devotional time, our time of meditation. We're going to be discussing blessings. I think that there's been for a long time, a misunderstanding of what the blessings of Yahuwah are. And this is why there's less thankfulness for the things that we have or the things that we actually, it's a less contentment for the things that we possess at the time. I think it's because there's no acknowledgement of what exactly you possess that is referred to or understood as a blessing from Yah. You know, I know many people that say my family, things like that. Also, in regards to obedience, how does the blessing come? Is it like payment for your obedience? What is the blessings? So we're gonna take a look a little bit about blessings and meditate on that for this week. So let's start with Deuteronomy 28. And Deuteronomy 28 not only has blessings, it also has cursing, but we're gonna focus on the blessings today. And it says this, starting from verse 2, it says here, arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of, I'm sorry, what's going on here? To the house of Bethuel. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong. Oop, there we go. I'm in the wrong chapter, sorry. Deuteronomy 28, starting at verse 2. Let's start at verse 1. It says here, it shall come to pass that if you hearken diligently or listen diligently to the voice of your yahuah, your Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command you this day, that yahuah, your Elohim, will set you on high above all nations of the earth. All these blessings shall come on you and overtake you if you will listen to the voice of yahuah, your Elohim. Blessed will you be in the city, blessed will you be in the field, blessed be the fruit of your body, the fruit of your ground, your cattle, the increase of the deer and the sheep. Blessed be your basket and your store, your food. Blessed shall you be when you come in, blessed shall you be when you go out. Yahuwah shall cause your enemies that rise up against you to be smitten before your face or in front of you, and they shall come out against you one way and run away from you 7 different ways. Yahuwah shall command the blessing upon you in your storehouse and in all that is setting your hand unto, and he shall bless you in the land which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you. This is very important for us to understand. Verse 9, Yahuwah shall establish you a holy people unto himself. And as he has sworn unto you, if you keep his commandments of Yahuwah Elohim and walk in his ways. If you notice, the whole aspect of this is not necessarily what he's going to give to you, is what you will become. You will be blessed in here, you will be blessed there, you will be blessed in front of your enemies. It's not necessarily the blessing of what he's giving to you, but the blessing of what you're becoming. What you are becoming because of the presence of Yahweh with you, you are becoming. This is the light that starts to radiate from you because of your oneness or your intimacy with Yah, your relationship with Yah. You are becoming the blessed. You are becoming the blessing. You are not only blessed, but you become the light and blessing to others. Let's continue. This is very important for us to understand. Let's look at verse before we move forward. Verse 12. I want to look at verse 12 before we move forward. It says, Yahuwah shall open unto you his good treasure and the heaven to give rain unto your land in his season, and to bless all the work of your hand, and you shall lend unto many nations, and you shall not borrow. So again, like you are becoming not only the recipient of all his good treasure, we got to understand what that is. Good treasure is not talking about finances. It's not talking about uh, anything like that. Even though Yah can bless you with those things, even though Yah can allow those things to come to you as well. His good treasure is very important to understand. When you read the book of Proverbs, I would say go correlate the book of Proverbs with this, and you'll see how the law is is referred to as silver and gold, and the necklace, the law around your neck, instead of a necklace, is the law, the commandments around your neck to turn you to guide you in your direction wherever your head turns, how you perceive things. This is treasure. This should be treasure to us. This should be a blessing to us. The understanding of his word to transform our mind, to allow us to see things clearly, should be a blessing or a treasure from Yah to us. But it seems like we think this is kind of like what should be. Like, okay, I understand the truth, so it's what I should understand. I should have this. When in actuality, the understanding is given to you as a treasure. The perception that you have of the world is given to you. All of those things are gifts. All of those things are blessings. But when we kind of look for materialistic things and say, yeah, to give me those blessings, I'm doing this, so how come I'm not getting these materials? This is where we lose sight of the real treasure, of his good treasure. Not only that, it talked about the rain in its due time, in its due season. Rain is also understood as knowledge, as understanding. Rain is also understanding as his ruach, his spirit. Let's take a look a little bit about that. Deuteronomy, since we're in Deuteronomy, we're going to allow Deuteronomy to express that. Deuteronomy 32, verse 2. My doctrine shall drop as rain. My teachings shall drop as rain. My speech shall be distilled as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb and the showers upon the grass. You see, in due season, there's a certain type of rain or doctrine that falls in due season. There's a small rain and then there's showers, right? So when we go back to Deuteronomy 28, verse 12, it says here, the rain unto your land in due season. And Yah will bless the work of your hand, the things that you go about to do, which glorifies Yah. All the things that you go about doing that glorifies Yah, he will bless, he will increase. This doesn't mean that he won't bless you in your occupation. It doesn't mean that he won't bless you in the labor that you do in this world. It just simply means that the things that you do will be expanded. Now, there's sometimes you go to work and these worldly jobs are not really lined up with the glorification of Yah and his name and his word and his principles and his will. So when certain things happen at work, it's not like, oh man, how come Yah didn't bless me? Well, that's not really the work that Yah has desired for you to increase in. The work always glorifies Yah. You may go to your job to get money to pay bills, and that's supposed to enable you to do the work, right? Whatever that may be, whether it's the work of taking care of your children, the work of trying to start your own business so you can be free, the work of projecting who Yah is and sharing Yah's word in different ways. There's people who sell, my wife sells products in order for people to have like memorabilia with Yah's name on it or with a scripture on it. Things to glorify Yah is what he's going to bless you in. That's the promise. Things of the world is a possibility. He may give you favor in their eyes, but they are still of the world. They still may react to you in a worldly way, in a demeaning way, in a condescending way. That's just how the world is. This is how the sinful world is. So we should never expect the worldly jobs and the worldly occupation to kind of always be subjected to Yah giving you blessing through that. Yah can give you blessing through that, but it is not where he wants you to receive the blessing. He wants you to receive the blessing in the reign, the doctrine, in the teaching, in the peace that passes understanding. The peace not as the world gives, the knowledge, the wisdom, not as the world's wisdom, not man's wisdom, but heavenly wisdom. This is the type of things or the type of treasure he wants you to actually possess. Yahushua even said this, store up yourself not treasures on earth, because what earthly people may want to steal. Earthly elements may cause it to rust. Earthly things may cause it to be destroyed or stolen or taken, but they cannot take heavenly treasure. So it says, set your affections on heavenly things, your treasures in heaven, where nothing can be affected. Nothing could be affected by anything on this world. So you see the difference. His good treasure is not necessarily the abundance of things that you can possess on this earth. Let's continue to move forward. Let's look at Psalms chapter 1. Looking at verse 1-3, it says here, blessed is the man that walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of yahuah, and in his law does he meditate day and night. You see that? He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bring forth his fruit in his season. You see the one, remember what we talked about in Deuteronomy? The rain falling in its season. So when the rain falls, he will bring forth fruit in his season, and his leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he does, he shall prosper. So we're starting to see the correlation. It's not necessarily obedience. It's walking with Yah and not in the counsel of the ungodly. It's standing in the way of Yah and not in the way of sinners. It's sitting and dwelling in the seat of Yah and not in the seat of the scornful. Delighting in Yah's word, not just doing what he says, but delighting in it and meditating on it. This is what transforms you into this type of person, where it says you will be like. You see that? The blessings is a transformative thing. When you receive blessings, it's supposed to transform you into his image, into his likeness. The blessings is not necessarily what you can get from Yah, is what you become through his ruach, through his spirit. He shall be like a tree planted by the water. He will bring forth fruit in his season, and his leaf shall not wither, and whatever he does will prosper. Let's continue to move forward. Philippians, I hope you guys are meditating on the principles here, so that way we don't lose sight of those principles when we're pursuing earthly material things. We need not to lose sight of Yah's actual good treasure, of Yah's actual blessings. Don't allow the things that you lose on this earth to make you think that Yah is retracting his blessing from you. No, you have to make sure you understand what is his blessing and what is prospering, right? You can prosper or you can lose prosperity, but it doesn't mean that your blessing is taken away. Philippians chapter 4, we're going to look at verse 19. It says, my Elohim shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory, right? His riches in glory by Yahushua Messiah. Where is the riches? In his glory. He will apply or supply everything according to his glory onto you. The blessings, the riches in his glory, he will supply it to you through his son. Let's move forward. Psalms 23:1. Everybody's familiar with this. Yahuwah is my shepherd, I shall not lack. Right? So again, when your mind is retracted or your mind is directly going to material earthly things, lacking in material earthly things, there's a misunderstanding of what Yah is going to cause you not to lack in, right? Look at the description of a person that does not lack. It says here, he makes me lie down in green pastures and leads me beside the still waters. It's not talking about he's able to go on many vacations. It means that he has peace. It means that he has confidence. He has trust. Look what it says. He restores my soul. Yah restores your being, the way that you think, the way that you are, the way that you live. What does it mean to restore your being? What happened to your being that it needs to be restored? Well, sin happened. Destruction happened. Poisoning of the mind happened. Wicked actions happen, whether it's actions that we've committed or actions that has been committed or done to us. This is what we need from Yah. This is what we're lacking. It doesn't say anything about needing money. There's many destroyed, damaged people that has lots of money, lots of earthly material things. But that does not mean that this person is restored. It means that that person is lacking. But when Yah is your shepherd, you won't lack. You will receive the things that you need and the things that you need the most, and you will be content and appreciative if you acknowledge what those blessings are. If you are looking this way when the blessings are this way, you are going to feel like you are not blessed. You are going to believe that you are not blessed, and it may lead up to anger or resentment to Yah, period, to his word, to his promises entirely. It says here, he leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, no fear, because you are with me. Remember what we said before. The presence of Yah is with you. The blessings is what you're turning into. You are becoming this type of person, a person that fears not, a person that lacks not, and a person that recognizes and is comforted that Yah is with you. So again, talks about his enemies. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies and anoint my head in oil. What does that mean? You prepare a table in front of my enemies? You prepare a table in which even your enemies can acknowledge the abundance, but not only that, but even your enemies can eat from your table. Like the fruit that you produce is going to be not only seen by your enemies, but will give them an opportunity to change from their ways. Let's continue to move forward. Numbers. Let's go back to the Torah. Numbers chapter 6, looking at verse 24 to 26. It says here, yahuah bless you and keep you. This is the blessing that Aaron was supposed to proclaim on the people of Yah. It says, yahuah make his face shine upon you and be gracious towards you. May yahuah lift up his countenance on you and give you peace. And then he says, and they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. The blessing of his face shining on you, the blessing of his gracious actions towards you, the blessing of his countenance being on you. That's his glory, like his representation. When people see you, they see a resemblance of Yah. They see a recognition, like, okay, you are of him, and give you peace. It's like when Yah blesses you, you become a certain type of person. When Yah protects you, when he shines on you, when he is gracious towards you, you become the light. You become the representation of who Yah is on this earth, and the nations are able to see it. The nations are able to feel it and hear it. Ephesians chapter, 1 verse 3, it says, blessed be Elohim and the Father of our Master Yahusha Messiah, who have blessed us with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places in Messiah. All spiritual blessings in heavenly places that he is pouring out from heaven, from heavenly places, blessings on his people. We need to believe that. If we don't believe that because we don't have, we're having a little bit of trouble paying our bills, or, we're a little bit hungry, and this is what he did to Israel to teach them to be grateful for the blessings that they would receive. And it was also to redirect their mind from earthly material things to spiritual things. Proverbs chapter 10. Looking at verse 22. The blessing of yahuah, it makes rich. The blessing of yahuah makes you rich. And he adds no sorrow with it. Now, what did we see earlier? What does he mean by rich? It says, it is a sport to a fool to do mischief. It's like a fool playing. Mischief is produced when a fool is playing around, but a man of understanding has wisdom. The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. The whirlwind passes, and so is the wicked no more, but the righteous is an everlasting foundation. Is very we understand very clearly what is the riches. The blessings make you rich. Rich in what? Rich in wisdom. Rich in righteousness. Rich in power. Rich in, there's so many different things. Let's look at a few more Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs 16, verse 8. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. Better is a little with righteousness. But wait a minute, I thought that it will make you rich. Well, the person with righteousness is rich. It's just a matter of understanding what is the blessing. What is the blessings that we are asking for, that we are looking for? What is the blessings that we are receiving as well? You passed the bar exam, is that the blessing? No. Yah allowed you to prosper. And whatever you do, you prosper. And you don't even really know if Yah allowed you to prosper, because man prospers in this world by themselves because they created the system that they're prospering in. But what does Yah want you to prosper in the most? Spiritual things, heavenly things, righteous things. Better is a little with righteousness. Very important to understand and keep in mind, because you don't want to compromise your righteousness so you can get great revenue. Let's go to Psalms 63. Psalm 63, verse 3. Because of your loving kindness is better than life. Your loving kindness is better than life. My lips shall praise you. My lips shall praise you. Your loving kindness is better than life, so my lips shall praise you. It's like you can't hold it back to acknowledge the blessing. You can't hold back the joy and the response, I would say, the reaction when you acknowledge that Yah is blessing you, that he is with you, that he's transforming you. Let's look at Psalms 84. Psalms 84, verse 11. For yahuah your Elohim is a sun and shield. Yahuwah will give you grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walks uprightly. So we have to understand, Yah approaches us first. It's not necessarily that he's like, let me wait until you do this and then I'll bless you. There's never an instance in scripture in which he waited for you to do something for him to bless you first. He blesses you first with wisdom. He even blesses you with his presence first before you obey. And as you trust him, you walk uprightly. I like the format of these words. It's not just obey, because many times people interpret every single statement that is referring to being righteous or walking properly. They attribute all of those statements to just obeying some commandments. Walking uprightly, like you're living in a certain manner. You're demonstrating Yah's will and principles. You're demonstrating his statutes and judgments in your actions and even in your speech and even in your thinking. This is what allows you to receive the blessings, because then you can appreciate and be thankful for them, because you acknowledge what those blessings actually are. Jeremiah 17, looking at verse 7 and 8, it says here, blessed is the man that trusts in yahuah and whose hope yahuah is. My hope is yahuah. I trust yahuah. So I am blessed. It's not that I receive blessings, so therefore I trust Yah. Is I have Yah, so I'm blessed. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, again, and that spreads out her roots by the river, shall not see the heat come, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful of the year of drought. You don't have to worry about the year of drought, neither shall cease from producing fruit. Let's go to one last verse of meditation for this week. Luke chapter 11, looking at verse 28. But he said, yea, rather, blessed are they that hear the word of Elohim and guard it, protect it, keep it from being violated, keep it from being transgressed. You love and you trust Yah to the point, because he is your blessing. He is what makes you a blessed person. And in return, you become more and more like him. You start to become more in his likeness, walking uprightly, speaking righteously, thinking righteously. This is the blessings of Yah. It's not to get a plot of land, even though he can bless you with material things. It's not about the material things. It's about him being yours and you being his. This is the blessing that we receive from Yahuwah. So I hope that this is a blessed meditation for the week. Feel free to comment below, like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to join the membership. Shalom, everyone.